Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage the Purdue University Concert Jazz Band. Thank you all so very much for being here this evening. If you have not guessed, I'm sure that you are all some jazz fans, but we have a subtitle to our concert of Swinging Things tonight, and the subtitle is The Naptown Sound. And why are we calling it the Naptown Sound? Because the music we're going to be featuring tonight are prominent musicians who are natives of the state of Indiana, but most of the tunes you're going to hear are from, in particular, musicians from Indianapolis. And they're known for that Naptown sound. Indiana, in the history of jazz, if you read many jazz history books, it takes you a while. You have to get to the 1950s, 30s, or you talk about the 20s if you want to talk about Noble Sissle, one of the great songwriters and arrangers, to get to hear about Indiana. Much of the time we talk about a few cities. We talk about New Orleans, of course, and if we talk about the trajectory of where the music went, music traveled from New Orleans, Louisiana, up to Chicago, Illinois, which became the next capital of jazz, and then the music traveled to New York City, and by that time, music is happening in other places, but we tend to talk about those three cities in particular, but we don't want to forget that there's so many wonderful musicians from so many places, in particular, Indianapolis. And the first song that we played was by a great guitarist who was from a very musical family, the Montgomerys, and that was a song by Wes Montgomery, and it's entitled Road Song. Let's give it up for Wes Montgomery, one of Indiana's true jazz treasures. No longer with us, but the music is. So we're going to continue on with another composition that's by another great Indianapolis native who went to Arsenal Tech High School in Indianapolis, if you're familiar with Arsenal Tech. There's a jazz festival that happens in February that's named after this particular individual, a wonderful trumpeter, a master of the trumpet. He was a 2006 NEA Jazz Master, they named him, and he recorded for a number of jazz labels such as Atlantic, Blue Note. Many of the tunes you're going to hear us play by this gentleman were recorded on the CTI label, which stood for Creed Taylor International, Creed Taylor Records, CTI. And the next song we're going to play is Little Sunflower. This is Freddie Hubbard's Little Sunflower. Caitlin Army on the bass, Daniel Adams on the trombone, Isaac Grossman on the baritone saxophone, and Aiden Doyle on the trumpet. Trumpeter Freddie Hubbard, Indianapolis' own, that was Little Sunflower. Now, much of the music we talk about are from jazz masters, and as time goes, many folks have passed on, But that doesn't mean that the jazz tradition of Indianapolis has stopped. There are still many wonderful, great musicians that are making music happen out of Indianapolis, and the next song we're going to play is by one such individual, a spectacular pianist who at one time was teaching at my alma mater at the University of Cincinnati College Conservatory of Music. He's a wonderful pianist, but also a wonderful big band writer, and his name is Steve Allee. And we're going to play a composition by Mr. Steve Allee entitled Pure Spirit. Steve Allee's Pure Spirit. Pure Spirit. Ren Diaraya on the trumpet. Derek Severa on the piano. Colin Campbell on the guitar. And you heard from Gavin Eek, our lead tenor saxophone player. Steve Allee's Pure Spirit. We're going to finish off our portion of the program and take the music back to the guitarist, Wes Montgomery. And this is a tune that has his namesake in it, and it's entitled West Coast Blues. Again, on behalf of Purdue Jazz Bands, on the Purdue Concert Jazz Band, we thank you all so very much for being here and hope that you're enjoying the Naptown sound thus far. This is West Coast Blues. Colin Campbell, Gavin Eek, Aiden Doyle, Purdue University Concert Jazz Band.